There's a misconception that clings to men as they pass the age of 60. It is the belief that with age comes rigidity, that older men become stubborn, set in their ways, and resistant to change. But if you look closer, if you observe the truly wise senior man, you see something entirely different. He has not become harder. He has become more fluid. He hasn't stopped growing. He has simply stopped growing in directions that don't matter. He isn't stubborn about things. He is disciplined about what he allows into his life. People see a man who doesn't engage in financial arguments, who doesn't chase the latest investment trend, who lives in a home that is comfortable, but perhaps smaller than he could afford, and they may mistake his quietness for a lack of ambition. But he knows the truth. His choices are not driven by fear, weakness, or age. They are the result of decades of experience, of hard-won discipline, and of a perspective that can only be earned through years of living. His daily routine isn't flashy. It's quiet. It's deliberate. It is a fortress protecting his retirement. So, what does that daily routine look like? Let's explore the quiet power of 7 financial decisions that protect your retirement. Decisions that are made not out of fear of losing money, but out of a commitment to preserving your most valuable asset, your peace of mind. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus, a man who was born into slavery, yet became one of history's most influential thinkers, taught us a principle that lies at the heart of financial discipline. We suffer not from the events in our lives, but from our judgment about them. In modern language, this means our anxiety about money rarely stems from our actual financial situation. It comes from our perception of it. It comes from comparing ourselves to others, from fearing we don't have enough, from the ego's desire to appear wealthy. A senior man who has embraced Stoic wisdom understands that money is not the end goal. It is a tool, and a tool is only useful if it helps you build a life of purpose and peace. Another foundational principle comes from Seneca, who wrote extensively about wealth and poverty. He said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." This is the psychological bedrock of the financially disciplined senior. He has redefined wealth. It is no longer about the size of a bank account or the value of a portfolio. It is about the freedom those numbers represent. It is about the ability to wake up in the morning and know that your time is your own. The decisions he makes every day are aligned with this deeper understanding. Consider the morning routine of this man. He wakes up without the frantic rush to check a stock market app. He doesn't greet the day with anxiety over global economic news. Instead, he brews his coffee, sits in a quiet spot, and focuses on what he can control, his mindset for the day. This is not a man who is disconnected from his finances. He is deeply connected to the purpose of his finances. This is where modern psychology meets ancient wisdom. There's a concept called hedonic adaptation, which is the human tendency to quickly return to a baseline level of happiness, regardless of positive or negative events. This explains why a man who wins the lottery often finds himself no happier a year later. He adapts. The new car, the bigger house, the flashy vacations, they become the new normal. The excitement fades, and often it is replaced by a new set of anxieties about maintaining that lifestyle. The disciplined senior man understands this intuitively. He has seen it. He has watched younger men and women in their prime chase promotions and larger homes, believing the next achievement will finally bring them satisfaction. He has watched them reach those goals and quickly find themselves looking for the next hill to climb. He uses this knowledge as a shield. He asks himself, will this purchase truly bring me lasting contentment, or is it just a temporary fix for a deeper dissatisfaction? This is the decision he makes daily. He refuses to spend money on things that will only create a new, higher baseline of expectation. He protects his peace by deliberately choosing enough. Decision 1. Saying no without guilt. Let's look at a specific decision. This is the first of the 7. Every day, opportunities arise to spend money. Many of them are dressed in the clothing of obligation or opportunity. An adult child asks for a loan to start a business venture that sounds risky. A friend suggests a costly trip that you know will stretch your budget. A financial advisor calls with a can't-miss opportunity. That stirs a feeling of FOMO, fear of missing out. The psychologically and financially disciplined senior doesn't react immediately. He has trained himself to pause. He sleeps on it. This decision, to pause, is a powerful tool. It combats present bias, our natural tendency to overvalue immediate rewards and undervalue future consequences. By forcing himself to wait, he allows the initial emotional charge to dissipate. The shiny object syndrome fades. He also applies the Stoic practice of premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. He doesn't do this to be pessimistic, but to be prepared. He asks, what is the worst that could happen if I say yes? What is the worst that could happen if I say no? If the risk is that he might disappoint someone, he can handle that. He has learned that he is not responsible for other people's expectations. If the risk is losing his retirement security, that is a price he is not willing to pay. This leads him to make the second decision. Decision 2. Protecting your retirement. He routinely refuses to co-sign loans. This is a boundary he protects fiercely. He knows that by co-signing, he is not helping someone else build a life of discipline. He is transferring the risk of their financial life onto his own. He understands the endowment effect, the psychological principle that we value what we own more than what we don't. If you co-sign a loan, it begins to feel like your own debt. It creates emotional entanglement. His decision is firm, yet it's delivered with warmth. He might say, I love you too much to risk our relationship over money. My savings are for my retirement and for your mother's care. I can't put that at risk. He feels no guilt. He knows that a healthy boundary is an act of love, not rejection. This is what it means to be a senior man who has gained emotional intelligence. He has internalized the idea that no is a complete sentence, and that it is a word that protects his freedom. Decision 3. The freedom of the simple life. His daily routine is filled with small, intentional decisions that protect his wealth and his time. He chooses to walk in the park instead of paying for a gym membership. He prepares his own meals, finding satisfaction in cooking, rather than spending money on expensive and often unhealthy restaurant food. He enjoys the company of his wife and friends over a simple meal at home, instead of attending lavish social events designed to impress. This is not penny pinching. This is not a sign of poverty. This is a philosophical choice. This is the third key decision, to live a life of voluntary simplicity. He has seen loss aversion in action, how people feel the pain of losing $100 more intensely than the joy of gaining $100. He has seen men in their 70s suffering from anxiety because their lifestyle demands they maintain a high income. He has chosen a lower baseline. By living comfortably below his means, he has immunized himself against much of the fear of a market downturn. A market crash that would devastate a neighbor who lives a more lavish lifestyle is nothing more than an inconvenience for him. He has already won the game by deciding not to play the game of keeping up with the Joneses. Decision 4. Privacy is a form of wealth. The fourth decision he makes daily is to keep his retirement savings private. He doesn't talk about his net worth at dinner parties. He doesn't post pictures of his portfolio online. He doesn't play the game of wealth signaling, which is the act of showing off to attract status or recognition. This is a brilliant psychological defense. Researchers have found that when you announce a goal or an achievement, you can get a social reality reward, which is a premature feeling of accomplishment. The same can happen with wealth. When you talk about how much you have, you experience a fleeting sense of satisfaction that can actually reduce your motivation to maintain or protect that wealth. More importantly, it protects him from manipulation. By maintaining his privacy, he avoids being targeted by people looking for an investor, a handout, or a way to leverage his resources for their own gain. He understands the psychological concept of social comparison theory, which suggests we determine our own social and personal worth based on how we stack up against others. By refusing to play the comparison game, he protects himself from one of the most powerful sources of financial and emotional insecurity. He is focused on his own internal metrics of success, peace, purpose, and love. Decision 5. The wisdom of enough. This leads to the fifth decision, which is perhaps the most profound. It is the practice of being truly satisfied with what he has. Every day, he takes a few quiet moments, perhaps in the morning, or while he takes a walk, to reflect on his life. He doesn't think about what he lacks. He thinks about what he has. He has a roof over his head. He has a healthy body that allows him to walk. He has a partner he loves. He has children, even if they are busy with their own lives. He has decades of memories. He is practicing a specific form of cognitive behavioral therapy. According to self-determination theory, Human beings have three basic psychological needs: competence, autonomy, and relatedness. The financially disciplined senior's routine fulfills all three. He feels competent because he has successfully navigated his life. He feels autonomous because he isn't a slave to his desires. And he feels relatedness because he is focused on the depth of his relationships rather than the breadth of his possessions. He understands that enough is a door, and through that door lies a room called freedom. As long as you are chasing more, you are standing outside that door, knocking, but never allowed to enter. He has stepped through. Decision 6. Investing in what matters. The sixth decision isn't about money at all. It's about how he spends his time. He uses the freedom that his discipline has bought him to invest in the things that truly matter. He spends time with his grandchildren, not by buying them expensive gifts and creating a sense of entitlement, but by teaching them wisdom. He tells them stories. He teaches them to fix things. He teaches them the value of $1 by showing them how to earn it. He gives them the gift of his time and his presence. He understands that the legacy he leaves is not in dollars and cents, but in the character of the people he loves. He has decided to invest in his health. He knows the greatest threat to his retirement is not a bear market, but a stroke or a heart attack. His daily routine includes movement, a healthy diet, and mental stimulation. He reads, he studies, he continues to be a student of life. This is an investment that pays dividends in quality of life. Decision 7. Letting go of control. The final decision he makes every day is to let go of the illusion of control. He has a financial plan. It is disciplined and robust, but he doesn't obsess over it. He doesn't refresh his brokerage account every hour. He doesn't panic when the news is bad. He understands that he can control his effort, his discipline, and his judgment. But he cannot control the economy, interest rates, or geopolitics. This is the core of Stoicism, focusing your energy exclusively on what is within your power. He has prepared for 100 different outcomes. He has built a life that is resilient to shocks, and after doing all of that, he lets go. He trusts the process. He is calm. Throughout his day, his decisions are guided by a series of timeless, quiet truths that echo in his mind. He is not afraid of losing money. He refuses to become controlled by it. Real wealth began for him where the need to impress ended. The wisest senior men protect their peace before they protect their pride. He understands that retirement is not the end of purpose. It is the reward for a life of discipline. He knows that a quiet bank account is often stronger than a loud lifestyle. The richest senior men rarely feel the need to prove they are rich. For him, money is a tool and freedom is the goal. A peaceful life is the greatest return on investment. So, what is the daily routine of the financially disciplined senior man? It is a routine built on saying no, so he can say a resounding yes to the life he wants. It is a routine of gratitude, of service, and of quiet contentment. He doesn't see himself as getting older or weaker. He sees himself as becoming wiser, more disciplined, more patient, and more financially independent. He has become emotionally resilient and difficult to manipulate because he knows what he values and he will not compromise it for anyone. He is comfortable with the word enough. He is rich, not in the possessions he owns, but in his character. He is focused on his legacy instead of public recognition. He measures his wealth in peace of mind, self-control, freedom, wisdom, gratitude, purpose, strong relationships, and the legacy he will leave behind. He has built a fortress around his retirement. It's not a fortress of walls. It's a fortress of quiet daily habits and unshakable inner strength. He is a student of the great philosophers, and he has learned their ultimate lesson. True wealth is a state of being, not a number on a screen. I'd like to hear from you, my friend. In the comments below, tell me the greatest money lesson life has taught you. Is there one financial habit that changed your retirement? What does true wealth mean to you today? And what is the boundary you refuse to compromise? If you found value in this conversation, please like this video. It lets me know this is the kind of wisdom you want to see more of. And if you know another senior man who values wisdom over status, who is building a legacy of peace and purpose, please share this video with him. Subscribe to the channel to join our community of thoughtful, disciplined, and wise men. Seek wisdom, protect your peace, leave a legacy,